which we could see he was having trouble stopping. So good job to nurse that car back and get a finish. So they're on top of that problem now. Brock Feeney's had a left front hub assembly put on the car as well.
Brent Parrish was given a 30-second penalty after yesterday's race. He started from 29th on the grid for race number 2, charged his way up 17 positions.
Yeah, we knew he'd move through the pack, and it was an unfortunate issue in race 1. He got a time penalty for post-race, but I had to speak to him about it. He says it is what it is. He copped it on the chin, and his plan was to drive back cleanly through the pack and put on a good example of some good motor racing, which is exactly what he's did. So good on you, Brett.
Absolutely. 30 cars plus have joined us here. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Some of these cars were at Morgan Park and Queensland Raceway last weekend, supporting down there. So good to see grassroots level motorsport really alive and kicking in Queensland.
Yeah, this is on board with Bartholomew. Look out for him charging through the pack.
So coming around to take their positions on the grid, Cam Wilson will start from the pole for this one. Brody Kostecki alongside him. Riley Beggs, he's another one that's just been sniffing around the top 5 and unnoticed.
Awesome job by Riley.
And Nash Morris and Zach Hudson, he charged up through the field along with Nash as well. Darren Whittington made up 5 spots down the field. Oscar Conley fell back to 14th with Holly Espray. Jackson Faulkner starting down in 20th position alongside Martin Short, who returns to sport. Matty Broadbent starts out at 22. Jason Gomersall from 25. And Jared Hughes starting out of position number 30 with Curry, Wood, Foster and Ryan Casher. He was caught up in the first lap frenzy coming across Boundary Street, the 79 car scheduled to start at the back of the field. We don't have Will Brown in the field. He was wide for sound yesterday, but the number 9 KMC Wheels entry not taking any further part in this weekend's competition. We look from Brody Kostecki down Boundary Street.
Okay, was starting to grid up into the box. It's on board with Brock Feeney, looking across to Ian Harvey.
So the time is counting down already as Bartholomew takes his spot in 29th. The whole fleet of Excels just ahead here. The EFS Accessories Excel Invitational, final race of the weekend. Ryan Casher, final car to pull into position. There is the green flag. Kostecki still with the indicator on, but ready to blast into combat here. The long charge down to turn number 1. Wilson and Kostecki, Beggs and Norris, Hudson and Whittington. The revs are up, and away we go for the final time here on the streets of Townsville. Looks like Cam Wilson's got the better start. Kostecki moving across to try and get the better line. You don't want to be side by side going through turn number 1.
Kostecki just tucked straight in. We've got Nash Morris, Riley Beggs side by side. This could be 3 wide in the back of the pack. Hopefully these boys just look after each other, get through the corner cleanly.
Wilson leads us through 3 wide into turn number 2, the right-hander onto Charters Tower Road for the first time. One car slowing on the right-hand side. That's Espray, car spun in the background. Well, we knew it was going to happen one time during this weekend.
Yeah, Josh Dremel in the 197. Hopefully he can fire that thing up. We don't have to have a safety car. Started
from 24th position and now at the back of the field as they're tightly stacked here across the Ross River Bridge and down to the Cooper Sweep for the first time. In car with Brock Feeney. There's Bloxham. Three wide.
Oh, he's going to get spun here by Gaudier. So Blocky went down the inside. 3 wide. Just hold it there, Brock. That's a fair bit of damage, mate.
It was never going to happen 3 wide. It's tough enough 2 wide through there, and Feeney comes out the worst. In fact, Bloxham has. He's on the other side of the Coates Hire corner. What a shame. He charged his way through the field from outside the 30 to a top 10 result, and now is at the back.
So Kostecki into the lead. Nash, the flash, up into 3rd with Hudson ranging around the outside.
And they're going to catch
We're going to get a safety car. There'll be a squabble here to see who's in 3rd position. Hudson's got it on the timing screen, so Nash just needs to roll out of it and give him back the place.
In that situation, would they take the back to the last sector they went through?
You just go off the timing screen. Yep. It's the easy thing to do. Here's Lockie crabbing down the road, so Gaudier was the meat in the sandwich here, I think.
Yeah. There's a replay at the start. And Kostecki indicating to the left, but would have to slot him behind. Cam Wilson on the run down to turn number 1 of the VP Ultimate replay. Here it is from Bartholomew. This will be interesting to watch. He's up to 16th position already from 29th on the grid.
Okay, yeah, good launch. And he'll pick his way through the pack. We picked him to win the race before the clutch trouble. So look where he's just going where the other cars aren't. He knows if he uses a bit of pavement that they're not going to use. He's just half a chance to drive around a lot of them, which he's going to do. He'll just cruise down the outside here, switches back to the inside, has another look. If he gets this stop, he does control. Oh,
maybe not.
No. Okay.
There was Dremel.
There was Dremel, so just a little bit opportunistic there by...
You watch him come through the 95, and it's the next group of cars. So
yeah, he wasn't going to make the corner, so... You know, it's a hard thing to do. You come off the back of the pack. Who's this with? Brock Feeney.
So this will tell us what happened going down into turn number 5. So it started back here with a slower
Beggs there.
Now he'll pull to the outside.
Oh, Lockie Bloxham's got a big run, a huge run. Gaudier's trying to give everyone room, and there just isn't enough room for 3 cars to go through there. And really, Brock was just the car caught on the outside.
There Feeney on the outside here, so he comes in, contact with the 96 and up on 2 wheels. They got some airtime in the motorsportsales.com.au entry. And we'll see Bloxham fire off to the left-hand side at the Coates High corner as Feeney bounced his way across the curb to the inside. And Gautier would spin as well.
It's just one of those things. You get Gaudier's a meat in a sandwich, just trying to stay off everyone. Let's see where Brody did the pass. Tyres did the job there. It'd be good to get a replay and see where Brody pulled the move on Cam.
So while that was happening, it puts...
Here we go, we're going green.
Back into the lead, and a very quick Vodafone safety car period here. Leaves Brodie Kostecki at the front, Cam Wilson, Nash Morris. Zach Hudson is next, and we go back to Whittington, Harvey. Oscar Conley now inside the top 10. He's in position 7 ahead of Wood, Beggs and Holly Espray.
Okay, the
top
Bush
10.
Green flag comes out. Brodie's got the jump. Nash on the gas nice and early. He will benefit from a tow from Cam.
He's tucked in nicely behind the 25, the slide waist karting entry. Heading down towards turn number 1. So back to green flag racing with 22 minutes remaining. Into the right-hand sweeper and down to turn number 2. This field of Excels spread out in the final race of the weekend.
Yeah, nice and smooth through here. Nash looking for a bit of an inside move on Cam. Just leads the car into the corner. Holly Espray in her car, which she affectionately calls Raven. She names her cars.
Great talent for 17 years of age. Very fast last weekend. And Morgan Park is into the right-hander at Hino corner we go. So that's blown the field apart a bit. Bartholomew's picked off 2 more cars in the process. He's up to 14th position from 29th on the grid.
Yeah, he's 14th. Mustn't have sustained any damage in that action. Here's Hudson for a look and move on Nash. Nash will just concede it. No, tries to hang around the outside. Let's see what happens when they come out the other side.
They're really getting confident with these curbs now, aren't they?
Yeah, Hudson with a run. See if Nash goes defensive.
Hudson, who finished 5th earlier today, runs in 4th ahead of Whittington. So a couple of guys that have snuck under the radar here. Down the Dunlop hairpin we go. While Kostecki is flying out in front. The gap is just under a second.
Yeah, he's got wind on the nose. Not getting balked by the different car speed of Cam Wilson on this time.
The car's off wide at the Dunlop hairpin. Spread the field out nicely.
James Simpson in the 76. Jared Hughes in the 7.
And Hughes up to 21st position. He started down in 30th.
Yeah, he had a fuel pressure issue in the last race, so that's been rectified. See what he can do. Wilson, Morris, Hudson. Racy battle here for 3rd place.
Ryan McLeod snuck up as well. He's up to 13th now from 17th on the grid. Back in car with Cam Bartholomew, 14th position, and that's an interesting
Ryan McLeod with the big dive bomb, pulls it off.
Got it done.
Bartholomew will get a run here. Here's Hudson on Nash. Nash will have to give this one up. If he hangs around the outside there, it's not going to be good. Well, he squeezes him all the way to the fence. So Nash is having none of that. The guy just opened the steering on him. Nash has retaliated.
But it's brought 2 or 3 cars back into the mix there through the Cooper's sweep. So Wilson ahead now. Hudson goes past as well.
Yeah, well, he's just trying to escort him into the fence. So obviously thinks he's got a bit more car speed, and if he can just brake, thought Nash was holding him up. So the thing to do there is just make sure they don't get a run off the corner. Not a lot in it. Hudson, Nash tries to hang around the outside. Hudson says no way, just lands on him, cuts him over the curb. Nash gives him one back in the bumper. That should be enough of it. They should get on with it.
BP Ultimate Replay tells us what happened down at Hino Corner, which allowed a couple of cars, including Harvey, to make up some spots. Down to the final turn we go. We're still 17.5 minutes of racing.
It's a long way to go here, so the thing you got to do here now is just calm down, keep the wheels on your car. So Nash and Hudson need to get rid of the contact and just have a good, hard, clean race and sort it out at the end. They need to try and break away from this pack. So hopefully they start working with each other.
Some big movers through the field here too, dude, including Martin Short, who's up into the top 10 now in the 888. He started 19th for this race. It's down the inside at turn number 2. It's not over.
No, he runs into the fence now. This is going to end in tears, mate.
And no one's going to give an inch here at Hino Corner.
Well, they need to stop doing this because it's not going to help anyone.
All it's doing is bringing other cars.
Nash has pulled it off. So he said, I'll drive around the outside here, mate.
He's got no fear, has he? And now Harvey will buy into this. Will he make the move on Hudson? No, comes up short. There's a lot of marbles off the racing line down through this particular point of the Reed Park course. Whittington just behind Harvey, who's on a flyer here as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, locks the right front. Harvey was on a purple sector as well.
1:37.3, the quickest lap for Brodie Kostecki. That was on the first flying lap of the restart. There's Bartholomew.
He's starting to get hold of some quicker guys. So I think that's Parrish in front of him and Ryan McLeod, and they're having a big duel. Let's see what happens with Bartholomew. He sends it down the inside. Will he stop? Hopefully he doesn't get Ryan. Yep, parks it. Gets the job done on Parrish. Cuts him wide a bit just so he can't get a run on him.
It's a classic move at turn 11, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's okay. If you've got enough car speed and you can drive away from the guy you're battling with, fair play.
Continues on the change of direction of the left-hander onto the main straight. Meantime, Brock Feeney going past Dremel here. So Feeney back in 22nd position into the final turn. He's got plenty of cars ahead. Oh, one fencing on the right-hand side. Was it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's hard in the fence from Simpson.
We caught that from the in-car, so the Boylan Group entry in the fence and hoping he can get this out because that's in a really tough spot.
I don't think that's going anywhere, mate. So 16 minutes to run here. Let's have a look. So he gets jacked up and wrong-footed. Brock's already got a ton of car speed on, and those guys are just having their own little duel at the end of the curb, and Brock arrives on the scene and nowhere to go.
So it was Crawford in the 173 here we're going past. It's the yellow 20 of Target, who just gives the right rear to the left front. And that sent...
Just a knock-on effect. What's going on here? Here we go.
Just catching the tail end of the Boylan Group car, finding the wall for some assistance on the final turn. So more happening on the BP Ultimate Replay. There's no shortage of highlights in the Excels, and oh my.
I don't know why those two guys are wobbling for the middle piece of the road, so...
And again, the safety car will be called. This is what it looked like front on. And
right, you can fit 5 cars down there, and those two guys are struggling, fighting over the middle piece of asphalt. And
that was Oscar Target again for the second time in the same lap with damage to the rear of his car. And once again, the Vodafone Ford Mustang safety car is clocking up some kilometres this weekend.
Yeah, well, this will take a while to tidy up. So you got Kostecki, Wilson, Nash, Hudson, Harvey, Wood, Whittington. Ian Harvey had a lovely race last race. He's that excited to be here. He finished in the top 10 and now into 5th position. He'll be very happy with that. Is that Wood now up into 6? He's come from the back of the pack in the last race after a gearbox issue. Played himself into the top 10.
And from 18th for this race, but he started from the back of the field for the race earlier today. So 31st on the grid and now inside the top 10 in 6th position. We just saw James Simpson jumping out of his 76 car, the Boylan Group Cairns Plaza Hotel entry. 21st he started today, but out of business. And same too, fair to say, could be for the 15 as it comes towards the BP Ultimate pit lane.
Yep, so James is still sitting in the car there. He looks to be okay, or is he in a bit of trouble?
Nothing but concrete on the right-hand side, and we can't see the damage from there right now, but you'd say to be a fairly decent hit.
He could be in a bit of trouble there, so obviously we'll get the medical guys on scene there, see what's happening. Where's Bartholomew got to? 13th. Yeah, it's quite a big impact. Let's move the right-hand side of the XL back. Tilt tray on scene, medical guys there.
Jack Wood's come into the pits as well. We lost Lockie Bloxham during this race after his charge inside the top 10. He's in the pits and would say be out of this race with around 10 minutes remaining. A lot of damage on the Wood car. It's now back in the pits. It's the replay of why the safety car is out now. Fenny on the outside, and that's the contact from Target into Simpson.
Target into Simpson and pushed him back into Brock Fenny. So I don't know why these guys want to rip the panels off the thing for, you know, those sort of places. They should be working together, racing. Oh, here we go. James out of the car. That's good.
It's good to see our Team Medical Australia team on the job down there at the final turn. Got to say a big shout out to our officials and recovery crew that have been here for the last 2 weekends, helping out the assistance of running the Robson Civil Townsville Supersprint. Been a busy month of racing. We get a week to relax before we head to the Bend in South Australia. Tin Tops will be back on down there.
Tin Tops back on. See the mix of cool sedans and touring cars, sports cars back on track.
There is our crew just right around this circuit. Takes a lot of people to put a race event on. Without them, it's very, very difficult to go racing, particularly with the restrictions we got in place at the moment as well.
Yeah, we have. So also got the Targa North Queensland Targa going on at the same time, so that draws a lot of officials as well.
The second tilt tray going out to retrieve another car. We've talked a bit about the new circuit that's been built up this way. It's good to see a permanent motorsport facility being bought in this part of the world, because there's a lot of good cars and drivers up this way. Yeah, and a good thing about the Drive It complex, it's community based. It's 10 car clubs involved. It's been a journey of some 15 years to get to this stage, but yeah, they're laying asphalt out there in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have the circuit finished this time next year. Hopefully, we think we could get the circuit done by the end of the wet season, like March. So it's probably the start of that wet season. Fantastic. At the moment, the car clubs actually use Parteree Park for super sprints and that, so the infrastructure that gets left up on the Parklands part of the circuit, the car clubs use it up here for super sprints as well. It's a unique course, unlike our other street circuits like Adelaide, for example, or Albert Park. They do completely dismantle at the end of each year. A lot of this is a permanent structure. Apart from the streets that we use, the inner side of the circuit, particularly around the back of the circuit, is used all year long. That's great. Yeah, originally they pulled it down, and the community up here said, why don't we leave it up and give the car clubs some a place where they can do their time trials, sprints, also a bit of drifting as well. So what sort of impact does that have to a region? I mean, you've had the normal motorplex going for a long, long time now. I mean, it really is the entry level to get into motorsport, and it's really important we have these. Yeah, well, Townsville has a huge car culture. Yeah. They love their cars up here. You need to have one because you can't get around otherwise. You've got to travel long distance, so they're a massive car culture in the community, and this just gives them a place to race. It'd be like, you know, living in Townsville and not having protected beaches and a swimming pool. You give people places to swim. You've got to have infrastructure and people to enjoy their motoring, and the driver safety aspect of it as well. It gives them a place where they can train their drivers, do all the emergency procedure training for all the emergency services, the armed forces as well. It's just a win-win for the community up here. I was fortunate to spend some time with the Dunstan family at a pit stop karting during the week, and they were talking about their travel just through the Aussie Racing Car Series. They've got to add $10,000 just for travel during the year. $10,000, that is. Well, it's a long haul. Yeah. So, yeah, you know, you've got to travel interstate, and you're travelling for 16 hours before you get out of Queensland. So, you know, this will unlock the north motorsport-wise, and, you know, with plans to get another track going in Rocky as well. You know, we could go on the northern run in winter, and how cool would that be? Yeah. We talk big distances, it's like Western Australia, isn't it? You could almost have 3 or 4 circuits plotted around here, and it wouldn't affect any town. No, it wouldn't. And here we go, there's a replay. Gaudia's tried to keep off Lockie. Brock's on the outside, gets tagged. Bit of a chain reaction. Can't really... That's just a racing incident, mate. You get 3 cars trying to go around a corner, and doesn't take much for it to go wrong. Fenny had that two-wheeling feeling for quite a while there as Gautier worked out which way he was going to go, and to the right of that was Lockie Bloxham, who would find the tyre wall. Not too much damage to his car, but enough to send him back into the BP Ultimate pit lane. Fenny was lucky. This car was bouncing around for quite some time. Yeah, Gautier's still wheeling it, trying to hang on to it.
straightens her up.
What's the feedback been like down in the pits? I mean, it's a good chance for him to run on the big stage right across the country on national TV. What's it been like for him?
Yeah, everyone's excited to be here, and you talk about, there's 36 cars here that have driven up all in the town for the weekend, and this is the sort of impact you can get from grassroots racing and impact in the community. So no one hesitated. They all raced last weekend. Everyone rushed to get their entry in, drove on up. Most people left Wednesday or Thursday, got here Friday, and just enjoying going racing.
It just feels like the last 6 months with all that's gone on in the world, it's had a chance to just reset. And I think we appreciate the fact we're going racing again already, but we also appreciate what we've got, because when it was gone there, it was actually quite nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you're a racer, you've got to race. You've got to scratch that itch. Any opportunity you can use to get on the track, you're going to do it. So, oh, we've got lights out here, Hot Dog Nolty. Looks like we're going to go green.
This is a great sign with just under 7 minutes remaining. It's Kostecki, Wilson, Morris, Hudson and Harvey, your top 5, with Wood, Whittington, Beggs, Short and Oscar Comley inside the top 10. Espray is 11th. Ryan McLeod up to 12th now, ahead of Bartholomew from 29th on the grid. So this plays into his hands nicely as well. He's made up 16 positions.
He'd be liking this. Wood would be liking this safety car. I reckon everyone's probably happy to have a little breather here, except Brodie Kostecki, because he had a nice little lead going. So he's going to do it all again.
It was out to 2 seconds before the second safety car period was called.
So we can't go to Brodie sights the green flag. He's actually got to see it, even though it could be displayed. It's got to be in the driver's view. Okay, drops the hammer, away he goes. Wilson goes with him, Nash goes with him, Hudson goes with him. Wood will be the big mover here. How he's come through the pack, he could make it onto the podium.
So Kostecki with the left indicator firing as an invite, taunting Wilson behind. If you're going to pass me, it's on the left-hand side. I guess, as they go down to turn number 2 at the restart with just under 6 minutes remaining.
Oh, Wilson moves under brakes, covers Nash Morris off. Again, he needs to have a look at the code of driving conduct, because you can't make a defensive move like that.
We've seen a bit of that over the weekend, haven't we? It's Martin Short going through the shot in 9th position as Kostecki leads us down to Hino Corner, turn 3 on the Reed Park Street circuit.
So Hudson on the charge as well. Him and Nash had a great scrap. Got the gloves off for a lap, then showed each other some great respect and some awesome driving. Let's hope they can keep putting on that display.
So through turn 5 and 6, the hard stop here at turn number 7, which is the permanent part we talked about during the safety car period. So Morris on the back of Wilson. He's got Hudson and Harvey just behind as well. McLeod starting to knock on the door of the top 10 here. They're the movers and shakers with 5 minutes remaining of this final race, the EFS XL Invitational.
Oh, Hudson has a look. Nash gives him a bit of room. Gets the drive off the corner. Great racing from those two guys, showing each other some good respect.
Just love watching the passing down there at turn number 11, the Dunlop hairpin. So he gets the job done, up a spot, same two to Bartholomew in the background. He's knocking on the door of the top 10.
Ryan McLeod on the inside of Faulkner. Oh, he's going to cut him wide. These guys have just got to give each other a little bit more room.
It certainly wasn't clear of him on the exit.
No, he wasn't. So Ryan's got a bit greedy there. Here's Bartholomew.
So that's
he blows around the outside, does the Brodie Kostecki move. Oh, Ryan has no idea he's there. Now he knows he's there. McLeod
almost sitting on top of the steering wheel on the left-hand side of the BP Ultimate replay.
Good fight back here from Bartholomew.
Be ruining what happened with that clutch in the race earlier today, and boy comes in, and that was McLeod unloading himself there at the Dunlop hairpin. And this was part 2 of the final turn with Jackson Faulkner on the outside in the I Do Car Loans entry.
Yeah, Ryan just eases him off the road a bit.
Just squared the wall off. Should be okay to keep going. They're tough, these XLs, but they do have a limit.
Yeah, so Brodie Kostecki, Wilson, Flash, just pulling a little bit of time now on Hudson.
So closing minutes of the race. Kostecki has got some breathing space here at the moment. He's the fastest man on the circuit. Cam Wilson about a second away. Nash Morris, Hudson and Harvey. Well, anyone
Wood making a move there. Looking on Harvey.
Great drive from that 97 to be inside the top 10 in 6th position. What's Wilson got for Kostecki?
I think he'll get close to him. Might run out of time. Brody's pretty fast through the back part of the circuit. This is on board with Bartholomew now.
It should be short just ahead here.
Yeah, one spot. He's behind Holly Espray. One spot out of the top 10.
And now is in the 10th spot.
Here he goes looking on Holly. Holly goes defensive. Down the inside. Hard on the brakes. Screwing on the wheels. Holly gives him a bit of room.
She's done great this weekend. Qualified.
Yeah, her car's wounded. She had that accident in qualifying.
But still driving on nicely. This is Angelo Mazuris and Oscar Target at the final turn.
Geez, he's been wheeling some blokes off the road, Oscar, so needs to have a look at this and review how he's driving.
Back in 17th position.
Yeah, this is the battle for the podium here. So there's Nash. Hudson's done a purple first sector, so he's caught back up to Nash. Nash bomb on the curb.
And behind them is Harvey, who's got 3 or 4 cars queuing up.
Yeah, so Nash has now got his mirrors full. See if he can keep his cool. See what we can do with these young blokes. But yeah, Hudson's doing his fastest. Here he goes. He's going to have a look up the inside. Nash will give him some room.
Rears lock.
Fantastic driving by these two guys.
That was.
Gives each other room, didn't wreck each other, and showing nice respect.
So fastest laps all through the field at the moment as Kostecki has 1.2 seconds on Wilson. We keep an eye on Riley Beggs in the 81. That's Wood ahead.
Yeah, hats off there to Hudson there. Just giving racing room, and that's what you got to do in this category. If you don't do the laps, you don't learn.
David Wood has made up a staggering 12 positions in this final race. There he is in the 97 on the outside, down through turn number 1.
Yeah, so we predicted it. Who's this bomber down the inside? I hope he doesn't clout Wood. Ooh, that gets close. That's Riley Beggs having a big dip. They'll run back up on Woods. If Woods can get clear here, he could be a threat for the podium.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, he's got the car speed. The Aqualuma XL. Using all the road there. So, bit of wind on his nose now. He'll try and set his sights on Hudson.
The 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way back to 10th position we're watching at the moment. Espray is in 10th spot. McLeod fastest on the circuit at the moment, but back in 12th position. Here is Bartholomew looking for the move as Harvey down the inside of Whittington. And Bartholomew goes for it at the same time.
Yeah, good heads-up driving by Bartholomew, picking his way through. Now he's got a nice run. Hopefully Harvey sees him there, gives him a bit of room. Bartholomew will get the job down here at the hairpin. Just beautiful under brakes, nicely done.
Absolutely superior on the brakes in the final turn, so puts him up into 7th position now. And should be starting the final lap.
Okay, the last lap thriller.
Incredible charge, though. When he started from 29...
Oh, he's been turned. Harvey's given him one in the door. This brings Holly Espray into it and Whittington back into it.
This will tighten this whole group of cars up. 6 cars scrap inside the top 10. The last lap. 3 highly intense races in the EFS XL Invitational through the right-hander. Got a feeling it's going to be on again down here at 2.
Here we go. So, Bartholomew looking good. Holly Espray picks the right line, follows Bartholomew through, tries to give some room, which she does. She'll just ease off the brake, slide her in, turn it in, clear Harvey, and that should be that position done as well.
Good job. She started 13th. There's up to 8th. Meantime, the Bush. Nothing but clear road ahead.
Nothing but clear road ahead. Hudson's all over the back of the flashback there. So this could be on for the podium. Couple of corners to go. There we go. Should be clear. Should get her home from here. Pressure's on Nash. But what an outstanding drive by these two young guys. Good, hard, clean racing.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching those guys battling out for 3rd and 4th, in particular for Nash, where he came from outside the top 10 yesterday in qualifying. But Brody Kostecki on his way down to the final turn. Been racing with Eggleston Motorsport this year in Super 2 competition. And comes out the final turn as a quick look to the right-hand side, and we'll greet the checkered flag first in the final race of the EFS Excel Invitational here today at Reed Park, and does it. Quick clap of the hands, a pat of the dash.
That's pretty cool.
The Bush wins.
He does. He's spent a lot of late nights building that car over the last couple of weeks, so that'd be very rewarding for Brodie. Wilson into second, Nash the Flash, good job by him. Hudson, awesome job. Wood back up to 5th, Beggs in 6th, Bartholomew back to 7th. Espray, Harvey, Ryan McLeod into the 10.
And Whittington down the field there. We got Oscar Comley, who got inside the top 10, would find himself in 14th behind Brock Feeney, down to Jason Gomersall in 26th position. And a whole list of DNFs and panels bent and egos bruised here this weekend. Well, the Excels have turned it on. But thanks to Paul Morris, we're looking forward to the Bend in a couple of weeks' time. Today, of course, is Father's Day, and with so many people working on supercars away from their families for an extended period of time,